Hey everybody, Gnome here. Hopefully everything's going well with you. I'm coming to you from the server X160. Proud member of Arkham Asylum. Hopefully you enjoy the video here. I kind of got an update on the new clan, the Scaldris, so I wanted to show you some gameplay. Of course, I didn't have enough summoning stones again. I gotta somehow get ahead on that, but I spent over 350, I think, so far, and I haven't been able to get the companion. I'm 5 away. But anyhow, uh, not the end of the world. Is I'm not huge impressed with this clan, but as you watch my preview and prediction, they do look really cool, and I gotta say, the male in gameplay is really fun to watch. The female's kind of got her fun with her ultimate. That's really fun to watch too. But so for this video, I figure I was gonna go through their abilities again, kind of get a little deep dive in that. Again, talk about traits. I haven't put any traits on them, but we can kind of talk about what's going to be the best with them. We could talk about synergies. I've leveled up a dungeon descent, and I've got a couple gameplays we can do with these champions to give you an idea how they look in combat and what their abilities look like. So for the male, let's give you a refresher. Red Hot's is passive. In battle, each time he loses a portion of Constitution, his strength and damage reduction increase. Strength gained through this effect can increase up to 30%, and damage reduction can increase up to 25%. When his Constitution is below 50%, the increase reaches its limit, and he gains 36% life steal. So he gets his max at 50% when he's half life, and then he gets healing if he goes underneath. So that's pretty nice, but it's a very basic passive. So the active, which looks really cool in battle, the Blaze Whiplash, swings the lava whip forward for a powerful whiplash, dealing 920% strength damage to enemies in a fan-shaped area, and permanently increasing the damage the enemies take by 13%, up to 39. So I'm guessing after 3 uses of his active, they then take 39% more damage, which is pretty significant. After the skill damage taken is reduced by an additional 25% for the next 5 seconds. So it's a little defensive at that point. So he gets the damage reduction from his passive as he takes more damage. He gets and strength. So I would definitely probably put barrier on him, seeing as he's a bruiser, kind of a tank. So when he uses his active there, his swipe, then he also gets the skill damage taken is reduced by additional 25% for 5 seconds. So even more defensive there. So a brutal, a barrier. Let's remember his ultimate here. Flames of Fury swings the lava whip to bind the enemy champion with the highest damage dealt, then dashes to the target. So that's really nice. So whoever's really rocking damage, most likely someone in the back row, this guy's going to whip them, bind them, and then rush to them really quick. Attack 3 times. The first 2 attacks deal 360% strength damage, and the last attack deals 500% strength true damage and puts the target in the ignited state for 6 seconds. In the ignited state, the enemy takes true damage equal, so a lot of true damage here, by the way. They take true damage equal to 3% of their max con per second. So it's for 6 seconds, so that's 18% of the max con over 6 seconds. Capped at 20 times the strength. And their shield gain is reduced by 60%, which is really nice. Imagine that against a Void Guardian. That could be helpful. The ignited effect cannot stack. The binding lasts for 4 seconds, during which the target cannot move or attack. And the last attack deals 500% true damage. Puts him into the... Huh. That's pretty nice. That's a pretty nice ultimate. Could arguably be really good for PvE as well. So consider that. Um, that's nice. Alright, so let's look at the female. Okay, first, should we, let's look at the females again, and then we'll kind of come back to their abilities every once in a while. Her passive is Unhinged Fire. At the start of the battle, gains 120 energy. Each hit during the battle marks the enemy with an Unhinged Fire for 5 seconds. Kind of shows as a fire above their head, I realize. Marked enemies have their crit evade rate reduced by 20%. So the more crit evade rate they have, that's the less crit they take. So by reducing that, you're going to be able to give it some more crits in there. So pairing her up in a team that's crit heavy could be beneficial as long as they have this unhinged fire. And it says each hit. I don't know if it's each attack or each like auto attack, like normal hit, normal attack. I don't understand, but we'll find out. Marked enemies have their crit evade rate. For each marked enemy on the field, increase her energy gain efficiency by 4%. So if you have all 5 people marked, then her energy gain efficiency is going to be increased by 20%. So almost like a focused, I guess, for the more marked people they have. So hopefully it's on anything. So the active or ultimate or anything like that. Her active being Flaming Chains, uses the Lava Whip to bond the 2 enemy champions with the highest strength for 5 seconds. Nice. So, again, putting out people that are, have the advantage in the battle. During the bond, both take 24% increased damage. That's pretty huge. That's significant. When one takes damage, the other also takes 40% of that damage, up to 10 times the caster's strength. So that's pretty sweet because if they're stacked up, they're both going to be taking a lot of similar damage. So it's just going to be amplifying that. So I wonder if that adds the flame thing. I haven't tested that yet. If there's only one enemy champion, bond with them instead. While bonded, the caster does not take transfer damage and is immune to control effects. So any damage she takes, though, they still take 40% of that damage. And the other person takes 24% more increased damage. And she becomes immune to control effects. So pretty awesome. But needed in a group type situation. Alright, her ultimate dashes behind the target with the lowest current con, so the one ready to die. Then quickly swings the lava whip to attack 7 times. Each attack deals 150% strength damage to enemies in range, while restoring constitution equal to 50% of damage dealt. So that's a lot. 7 times, a lot of healing from it. If the enemy has the unhinged fire mark, each attack will also trigger the mark to explode, dealing true damage equal to 2% of their max con to nearby enemies. And I don't know if that goes away, up to 20 times strength. So that's really powerful. If they have a mark, then she uses her ult. Then if it stays on them, and for all 7, that would be 14% of their max con, which is pretty sick. Capped at 20 times their strength. So, luckily, I also have some expeditions available that I've saved up, so we can kind of see them in that situation as well. In fact, let's do those first. So this is the expedition. I believe there. Oh, it's got to make us do this weird thing that you need to please developers take it out of the game. I believe it's this one is the male or the female. It looks like we have the female. Tiny, tiny little thing. Okay, let's see. So the things we're looking for are she does this unhinged fire on them. So she is melee. So there's the unhinged fire. You can see the link, excuse me, from her active. Wow. Her ultimate's pretty cool there. And, hey, by the way, notice the unhinged fire stayed on the whole time. And so each time it popped for more damage. And my champion's only 11 stars, but That's popping for a lot of extra damage. And she also heals from the ultimate as well. That was nice. I don't know what I'm going to see in that, but yeah, she did very well. Alright, let's see the male. Yeah, she did really nice. I like that the unhinged fire stays on him for the full 5 seconds. It doesn't go away if it explodes. So you can literally explode it 7 times with the ultimate. Okay, here we go. There's the active is that slice across there. And then he must have hexproof because he's silencing. He just got... You saw his kind of bind, and then he kind of jumped a little bit. I think if they're far away, he does a far jump. So he should come out. There's his active for the finish. Not a very eventful fight. I gotta say, in a 5-player fight, he's more eventful. He's a little more fun. And just so that I finish these up, hopefully y'all can bear with me here. So with his active also, it was the whiplash. Uh, Excuse me, that's kind of loud. Yeah, he has the whiplash. Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me there. I got a little loud. Alright, so I also have a couple things set up that we can see them in some PvE situations as well. So here's my Sunbolt, level 799, almost at 800 here. So going in there, bam, there's Hex going off. There's the shield doing electricity damage, and then the ultimate, what was that, 10 seconds? Too long. I think my quickest is 6 or 7 seconds, I think. Alright, so now let's go ahead. I do have Dungeon Descent ready, but I want to do something else to get some crystals. I'm 5 away from the companion parts, so I figure maybe we can do this. We can do the clan challenge together. I can show you maybe some synergy champions too. So get these guys out of here. So as we talked about in the other video, some possible synergy champions would be female Tide Raiser. Voidborn is really nice as well to kind of clump everybody up. That's somebody I want to test at the higher levels of this little event thing. But for the first couple, let's just kind of use 1 or 2. They do get harder, I've noticed. Okay, so there's the female. Let's just use her first. Let's put her in the back row closest to us. So when she links to people, they take 24% increased damage. She has the unhinged fire, which makes it where they take more crits. Okay, the link is the people in the back. And see, she didn't even end up attacking the people in the back, but they were stunned afterwards. I forgot about that. After it ends, that they're stunned for like 3 seconds or 2 seconds, something like that. So there was her ultimate, the flame. Okay, she linked the back two again, which did nothing for her, essentially. But there we go. There's the unhinged fire. Alright, they're both linked now. And then she ults and it just tears through them. Like, that ult is really powerful. I could give you that. I think that if that was used correctly, that could be really big. So again, maybe with the Voidborn, well, let's show you the male real quick. So we saw all of her abilities. The stun is really nice. So that goes well with Mel Watersun. It goes well with Voidborn, who I would like to pair her up with. I think she has some nice potential with that. Alright, so here's the male. We'll put him in the front. I don't have Warrior Guardian stones up, but he can hold his own. So here, watch his active. Boom! Just destroys the whole front row with that whiplash. It does do a lot of damage. So there's the ult. He bound him, and then he flew in and got 3 attacks on him. And then remember, afterwards, something happens after that. We'll have to figure that out again. But yay, summoning stones. That's nice. Alright, so now let's do a little combo. And let's put her and him together. We don't need any other teammates right now. And my Voidborn has pretty good gear and whatnot. But let's just kind of put her right here behind him. And let's see what happens. It'd be nice if she ults the back line. And then he's going to wipe out the front line with 1 attack. Here he goes. Ult. Boom. And it was people that, oh, she had linked the back. Oh, he gets in there. Oh, and the stun. That was really nice. Oh, and these are fire aspect, by the way. So these are fire aspect champions. Pairing well with male Ascavarge, Gokong, female Shun potentially. Look at the male's damage. He's got her by quite a bit. And I think he's got worse gear than her. But arguably, she might do better with a team that bunches the enemy up. So when she uses her ultimate, it just tears through the whole team. I would love to see that happen. In fact, we might do some arena and try that out. So there's his grapple. Get in there. She's got the unhinged fire, so they're taking more crits. You can see there's a crit to finish it off right there. That was really cool. Summoning stones. Yay. Yeah, I think I used around 350, and this happens every time. I just need to skip one and go to the wheel and just forego the mask. But it'd be nice if it was a mask that I already had, so I wouldn't mind. I don't have the current mask in here. So, okay, look, see the unhinged fire? She got it on both targets because they were sharing through the active. And I think that's how it did that. So that's really powerful. Yeah, they're just the fire people with whips. You could probably put them with Ignorath to look cool. Maybe Farouk. Farouk's not fire though. So here they come in. The active should clear them all. Boom. She's got her. Okay, there. Yep. Because she hit the one that had the active bond on, it applied the unhinged fire to the other one. So that's really good to know because if you're doing a lot of AoE damage, she's going to be pumping out a ton of that. So it kind of reminds me of female Shun's active a little bit. Very interesting. So. Here we go. Female Tide Raiser would do well to pull people in if you use her. Um, who else? Female Bjorn Krieger, male Ho. Um, I feel that the Voidborn is probably going to still be one of the best utility champions to pull everyone together. And if you're able to pull everybody together, you could technically use either of them, but I think most people are going to have the Guardian Stones for Assassins. So maybe by pulling everyone together and having her on the team, she will just jump in there and wham! So she linked the back people, but didn't... Okay, she barely got it right there where they both got the unhinged fire. And did you see how much health she's regenning? She's not taking any damage here. Okay, but let's try this. Voidborn and her for this one, and I'll have him over here. Voidborn and her for this one, And then Voidborn in the mail for the second one to see how it does with them grouping people up. So she's going to link right now. Okay, so both of them have unhinged fire. Now they're all together. She's about to. Oh no, the Void. No! Voidborn is just too powerful. But he's kind of slow too, though. It took him a little bit to kind of build up there. Alright, here's the final one. We'll use Voidborn in the mail. I really have a feeling that what's going to happen is the Voidborn's going to pull him in. And if he doesn't finish him off with that, the male's going to finish him off with his active. And if that's the case, hey, mission accomplished. So the active is about to go pull everybody in. There they come in. Oh, he already used his active before everyone came in, but he went to town and just rocked the rest of them. Okay, so thank you all for allowing me to get some crystals there. Now we can take a breather from those, even though we have the Crimson Shadow ones. And I have some Dungeon Descent at a higher level. So maybe we can see this a tad better here. Here's the boss. So we'll do the male. I don't know why I made this team after I made it. I can't show synergy. So there's the active, still takes him out at level 23. He jumps in there, goes to town, the 3 strikes. Everyone was kind of taking some damage over time. Alright, let's see her. So she can't do as much damage, but as soon as she ults, she normally kills everybody if she hits everybody. That's the big if right there. So the thing with her is you're going to want to get her to ult really quickly. She starts with 120 energy from her passive. Potentially adding Ambitious for 300 energy or an energy regen maxed out, I think 240 energy every 8 seconds. That could be helpful. You essentially just want her using her ult as much as possible because it also heals her. So she's able to stay in the battle as much as possible. And remember, if they have one of those fire marks, she causes them to explode and does percent max health. So that could be really good on a long PvE or Lexus boss. Oops. I don't think I meant to use the mail, but we'll go ahead and let him get the glory here. There's his active, clears him. His whip goes in. And then his goes to the lowest con by percent. And they were all 3 100%. And so he went to the champion that was the closest to him. So if y'all were wondering how that calculation was made, that gives you an idea, a little bit of an idea. And then here's the female again. We'll put her in the front row, row. All right. So there's oh look, she linked and then hit the other guys real quick. So all 3 have it. So now if any of them get hit by okay, a lot of them exploded from that. Okay, she linked and then dealt damage to the second one. Perfect battle to show this. That was awesome. How the link kind of works. We're gonna do some arena battles as well, so that should be pretty fun. Do you want to open some chests with me? Ooh, congratulations. Here we go. What do we get? The same thing that we always get. Oh, bouquets. Wedding rings. Wonderful. Alright. Is there anything that I want to buy? I'll get that. Alright. So where are we heading next? I did save Oh, the Sails and Sabers, there's those battles as well. But let's do some arena. Let's give them some heavy protection with the Void Guardian. I think that that's only fair. Thorgrand's pretty tough. I need him to be low enough where I can actually do some damage with the team. So Selny, or Selm, however you pronounce it. We're going to kind of fight here, but it's going to be very, very, very basic. So I'm going to use the female Galabar, so we're both going to be using female Galabar. And then let me bring in my two new champions. And we'll see if this link damage can do anything. We'll see if the stuns will produce any nice effects. So there's her and him. So we'll bring her and him both back to the back row. I don't want to use Void Guardian. Actually, I'm going to... There is a Queen of Frost. So naturally, to keep people alive, I kind of need to use the Void Guardian. And they have a very tanky team, so I shouldn't be worried about him killing anybody. Alright, let the battle begin. So some things we're looking for. Her unhinged fire marking people, and the more people that are marked, the more energy she's regenerating. So if we can... Oh. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We might have to go with another tactic. I think the Void Guardian just went nuts. Okay, let's go with a different tactic. Here we go. Muffmaster, one of my prime targets here. This should work out. So he's taken 50% or what, 40% of the back row or whatever it is. All right. The male or female couldn't use the active, I don't think. I don't see any of the unhinged fires yet. They're just like being permanently stunned and CC'd. They can't do anything. Okay, here goes the female. She jumps in, she uses the slash attack. I don't know if it was strong enough to really do anything. Their skills are at the max I can get them, which is level 11. So, my Void Guardian could go down here. This is a major moment. Everybody's doing their ults. Oh, we can't withstand that. No way. Oh, he's down. And then they're gonna make short work of my other two teammates. Like I told y'all, I'm not super sold on this clan. Okay, look, the female has somehow had some survivability. Not much, but yeah, not super sold on this clan. Let's see if we can find a better matchup so we can uh, see how it kind of works together. Okay, here's Zera. Zera's a tough player. Wow, look at all those guardians. So what we can do then is kind of go female Galabar. There we go. Maybe that'll make it a little bit more even. What do you think? But that's a lot of Guardians and a lot of CC. So I think that Zera's going to put the nail in the coffin. But let's see. So I get instantly CC'd. They are surviving a little bit. They're half life. The male should have life steal now. Oh, already dead. That's a bummer. The female, does she even have anybody marked here? This is so... I'm just not digging this clan. Okay, she just healed up to full from female Galabars. Okay, there's an unhinged fire on a couple of them, but then she gets CC'd and can't use her ultimate. So I'm not sold on this. Maybe the female can be used for PvE, but I think that there's better options for PvP. Um, So yeah, that would be my thing. Maybe user per PvE, because I imagine her ultimate, keep it all the way on with female Kanesh. And then if you do that, then she can just like constantly use that ultimate. And that would be the only thing that I would find beneficial. Because also, striking 7 times is really nice too. Um, if there's any ultimates that say when you deal damage with your ultimate, if there's any traits that say that, that's powerful because she slings 7 of them in a row there. If you have hexproof or fearsome, most likely she's gonna proc that as well in the ultimate. Um, those are most likely you can get them to crit if they have that unhinged fire on the enemy. Then it can potentially crit as well. And if it crits, all 7 of them critting, oh, that's pretty strong. And don't forget, the more unhinged fires, her link adds 24%. I just wish she could link more than 2 people. It would probably be too overpowered then. But, oh yeah, what did we wanted it to do? We wanted to test Voidborn. So maybe we'll do Void Guardian, Voidborn, and her, so we can bring everyone together and have her. Good job. Good job, Zara. Good job, Muffmaster. Alright, Han Satan, very strong player. We're gonna just experiment with the male for now, so, or the female, sorry. So let's do it something a little bit like that. This gives me a little bit more of a chance here, even though I have way more power. But just going against a full Guardian lineup is tough. Alright, oops, I have it on ×2, sorry. Um, oh, looks like the Necrosa took a lot of damage. The Ignorath is down. I think a lot of this battle might have been the Voidborn just doing what he does best, and that's just kicking it. Coincidentally, the Voidborn is the last one alive on the enemy's team. There we go. Put him down. So let's look at the damage a little bit here. So it was mostly that Void Guardian. He's such a beast. I have Brutal on him right now. I was experimenting with a little Brutal action, and he's powerful. So, what about something like this? Does that work a little better? Okay. Because if not, that Void Guardian is going to steal the show. So, here we go. We want them to be all grouped up, and then we want the female to use her ultimate on some unhinged ones. Oh, so the fear's going off. He didn't get his, alright, here's her ult. Boom, 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 and she only hits one person, but she took her out. She took out that Queen of Frost. Uh-oh, here's the Meltwater and Sun, but he's getting pulled in, and he got crit down. So her unhinged fire is really good if your team has some heavy crit. I know there's a lot of team ones that have some heavy crit in them. So keep her in mind if that's what you're working with. Alright, here we go. Let's fight Muff again. We'll go with this team again. But I want to see, I'm guessing he's going to get the win here. But if my Voidborn can just use his active to pull everybody in. Uh-oh. Necrosa already at it. Looks like there's no pull in for this battle. My Voidborn's already getting... oh, and she's down from Necrosa. So we don't even get to enjoy this. Let's do it ×2 here. Oh, is my Voidborn about to go down too? Gonna heal up from female Galabars. Oh, nope, not enough. Female Galabar, are you going to be able to withstand this onslaught? Nope. Phoenix Execute. That was gorgeous. Good job, Muff. There we go. Yep. So, and then I could probably do a couple battles with... So let's try this. Cluedo is a very strong player. But let's try to do something like this. Protect her a bit. And then maybe we can kind of see some more action. We'll put Farouk in the middle here. Actually, Farouk's going to get the ire of Queen of Frost, I think. So maybe we'll put him up here. Alright. So Cluedo's really strong. I know that my power is interesting compared, but our main point is we want to see how the girl synergizes. Okay, hold on. Hold on, slow it down. Okay, there's the Eldrasil ult just pelting everybody. Queen of Frost is going off, the female Nereid. There goes Farouk. Alright, here goes the female. Here she goes. Oh, no, was she interrupted? Or was it the Queen of Frost, maybe? That could have been it. Alright, so the Voidborn's doing what he does best, and grouping up the enemy team. And that should be really good for her. I can't even see any unhinged fire. Okay, there's an unhinged fire on the Queen of Frost, and the Queen of Frost goes down. Remember, about 20% additional damage. Okay, there's the unhinged fire. Oh, the ultimate. Boom, boom, boom. I still want to see the ultimate on a big group of people. Of course, Farouk just... I might have to take Farouk out. I think she'll be fine without him. Maybe we can actually put the male in as well and try to see them both. What do y'all think? Just slim pickings here. Yeah, because the problem is I don't have 15 stars, so I don't have much that I can really do. Let's try Zara again. We'll just take Farouk out, and we'll take... Yeah, let's just try this. No, I think I'm going to need the Void Guardian. This, I know the power difference is so ridiculous, but I'm trying to get people that aren't that strong. I think the Void Guardian is just going to walk in and one shot. Oh, yeah, that seems to be what's happening. So I'm sorry, everybody. Maybe not the best footage in this video, but you can kind of tell what her link gets on people. Her ultimate, if she's allowed to get it off. So let's go back and talk about a couple traits that might be good with these champions, since we're not having the best of luck here. So I have them both, I believe, at, oops, there's my Gokong. So I have them both at 11 stars. And I put a little bit of gear on some. It's nothing crazy. Stuff I had sitting around. So, yeah, sure looks cool. I got a ton of hers. Yeah, we didn't go over the trait. Pyro Wrath. When casting an active skill, increases damage by 30.7% for 5 seconds. So, What's nice about that is when she has enemies linked by her active, she gets 5 seconds worth of increased damage to do even more damage to the other person. So ideally, she's got enough energy right after using her active that she jumps right into her ultimate. And if everybody's grouped up, whoa, that's pretty deadly, I'm telling you. And then that's just her clan trait. So you could get, definitely you're going to want brutal. What else are you going to want? Um, Maybe Fury Flame, so she can do some more damage. She's melee, so she's going to take some more damage, and that could stack up pretty nicely. Um, that's also would be stronger for her for PvE. Her Astrolabe being the assassin one unlocks a 11 star. Oh, she'll do great with some crit, honestly. So she's going to be like some crit damage. So I would even say Sharp Strikes or Shura's Avatar. They both have some potential because when she starts using her ult, she's going to be able to get that heavy crit for the whole 7 seconds. Bam, 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 or the 7 attacks. So yeah, I'd probably say Shura's Avatar. Um, because then when she uses her active as well, they will take more crit damage, which is fantastic. So Shura's Avatar is a good one. Sharp Strike, she does do a lot of auto attacking, so that'll keep her crit damage up. You could potentially do, Predator Blade, increase her crit rate by 20% every time, or by, I think it's 16% at level 18 for every time she uses her ultimate. So when she uses her ultimate and their crit evade rate's lowered, and she's doing more crit with her ultimate, yeah, you could really focus on her ultimate. So I would probably do energy regen, brutal. Those are very important. Uh, Maybe Ashura's Avatar, Energy Regen, Brutal, Shura's Avatar, and then Predator Blade. Yeah, that's probably how I build her out. But I don't know if I'll expend the resources because she's not really a champ that I want to continue with. But I told you there is some heavy potential for her. Like, increases the energy gain efficiency. So being able to get to that ultimate quicker all the time, and just that every time that ultimate goes off. Let me see. It's all the slashes, and then isn't she? She's immune to control, I believe, while she's doing it. Um, She's getting the healing from a ton of healing. She's going to get healed to full with her ultimate. So think about it that way. Every time she uses her ultimate, she's going to get healed to full. So that's powerful. If the enemy has the unhinged fire mark, each attack will also trigger the mark to explode, dealing true damage equal to. Dang. I might actually use her for PvE, so I will have to level her up. But for PvP, not so, or for, sorry, um, PvP, yeah, I'm not too impressed. Maybe I just got to see her in action. Um, I must say though, for PvE, I'm very intrigued because it also heals her. It does a lot of damage. And the unhinged fire causes more crit for everybody, basically. So, yeah, that's pretty darn strong. Maybe I should do a Luxus with her while she's in the group, just to see. The bond, they take increased damage. Oh, that's it. She's immune to control effects if she's bonded to one person. So if you're fighting a boss, she's only going to be bound to the boss, and the boss is going to take increased damage. And then any damage she takes from the boss will take 40% of that back. Up to 10,000% of the caster's strength. Or sorry, 1,000% of the caster's strength. I read that wrong. When the bond ends, so bosses won't be stunned. But with just one enemy, she'll be immune to control effects while that's going on. And it lasts for 5 seconds, so that's pretty strong. Be good in Abyss so she doesn't get stunned by the AoE stun that they do. So yeah, she has some PvE potential. I don't know if I would deploy her for PvP, really. She reminds me a lot like a female Shun. Maybe not as good, some high potential, but just, yeah, not as good. But, yeah, the explosion, the link, she could actually be really good against bosses, like, specifically. I'll have to do some more experimentation with that and let you know. And then the male, Hexproof wasn't that bad on him. He does a lot of AoE attacks, group attacks. So if you kind of beef up his, like give him Hexproof or Fearsome, he could potentially pop people with that when he's doing all of his AoE attacks. Alright, so we just looked at her. Let's look at how I got him going. Astrolabe Warrior. Skills. He's missing a helmet. Figured his horns wouldn't work with it. So with his skills in battle, so he gets more strength, he gets more tanky. So he's definitely not good for PvE, but for PvP he could have potential. He gains the lifesteal, so he can survive. His whip is great for if you group people up, permanently increasing their damage. That's good for PvP or for PvE. And then he gets some more resistance against skills after that. So, again, heavy tankiness, making me think more PvP bound. And then his ultimate with the whip, he binds them. It's not gonna affect bosses, so that's not that great for PvE. Other than the true damage on the third attack, the damage from all the attacks, the ignited state, where they take max con up to 18%, which is 2,000% of caster's strength, capped, and their shield gain. None of the bosses really have shield gain. So yeah, this is more for a PvP player here. But given that, his ultimate's really good. So an energy regen would be okay. And honorable if you need it. If you don't have other ways to get damage reduction up. I'd probably definitely do Barrier and Brutal. So Barrier, Brutal, maybe Energy Regen to get them to use that ult, which, kind of binds people, uh, causes shield reduction. He doesn't need Energetic. And he gets that huge boost, damage boost when he uses his active. So you could potentially think aggressive. You could put that hexproof on him. You could do fierce if you want to do more damage. Any number of other abilities that trigger. You could go more crit with him if you want. I don't think you really need to. And he gets that life steal, so maybe energetic actually. So his 50% mark is higher, when he can start, life stealing from all of his attacks. So sharp strikes could have potential. Yeah, he's very, very basic champion, but I would suggest for newer players or people that have come back to the game, this could be a good champion just to kind of control the flow of PvP battle, still tanky enough that they're not dying at the beginning of every battle. Has some potential, if you know what I mean, in staying alive. Um, that's kind of how I would view him. So with that, if you have a damage dealing guardian, maybe you put the damage dealing guardian and you get him. Maybe you have a guardian like Voidborn who brings people in, or female Bjorn Krieger, or anyone who brings people in or together, because then you have that higher potential of just doing that crazy AoE damage, especially for the female. She's nuts. Um, Anybody with a pool in that regard. There's a lot of champions with pools or pushes or anything like that. Oh, why are we on female Nord? Um, yeah, Voidborn just being so strong in that. Uh, is there anything else? I would show you some of them in PvP, but I don't think that that's really viable right now. Um, who else? Oh, Farouk would be pretty good to give shields to and protect like we did in some of the examples earlier. Male Ascavarge is also a fire aspect. The female Shun is. Um, the Marrowborn, if you have the male Marrowborn, that could team up pretty well with this fire aspect as well. Um, or, the female does the AoE stun. That's really good too. Let's see, who else is some fire around here? We didn't have that many fire, so it's good that they released another fire. Karguk. I don't think anybody's really using that at this point if they're watching my videos. Yeah, both the male and the female Shun are fire. Ignis, of course, is fire. And everyone starts off the game with like the male or the female Ignis or whatever it is. Yeah, interesting clan. I'll probably, I might try the female with some of the PvE, but I think other than that, that's all they're getting out of me for this one, which is nice because I don't have to go as hard and trying to upgrade. I'm trying to just change out all the traits on my current teams, and that's a obstacle. I think I went through over 300 rings just trying to get the right traits, and I still don't have them all perfect how I want them. But they're getting there. It's getting a little better. Um, Much less the Astrolabe that that are out now too. Those are very tough. But yeah, with that, hopefully this video kind of helps you decide if you need one of these champs for like your third team or maybe your second team if you need to. Again, the female, if you're using her for PvE and you just need to squeeze her into team 2 or team 3, put her with Voidborn and or Farouk, and she can probably really put a dent in a team that's all bunched up. You can count on that. She is an assassin. And then the male, he's very much a bruiser. Just treat him more kind of like a tank a little bit, and I think he'll do fine on a third or second team. But yeah, that's what I got you for the Scaldris clan. Hopefully that helped out. I got like 4 extra of the mythic females. I need to figure out if I want to put those on anybody. The clan trait. But either way, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and throw a like and a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.